Hi guys, this is Rosa Kelly. Welcome back to my channel. So today I'm here to talk about all the books that I read on the month of October. I have a large pile of books next to me. So I hope that you guys are ready. Grab some tea, some coffee, and let's talk about books. So hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you guys are having a beautiful day, and I hope that you had a nice and safe Halloween and that you had a nice reading month as well. I was able to finish quite a lot of books. I did not count the books. So I have 2, 4, 6, 10, 12, 14 physical books. I also finished 2 audiobooks, and I did read I have 2 books that I did not finish, which are the ones that I'm going to talk first, because I'm in the middle of this book, which is called For the Wolf. If you watch my last vlog, you saw that I started this one, and I'm halfway through the book, and I'm just really loving the story. So this is by Hannah Witton, and so on this book we have 2 twin sisters that are born, and one is destined to be the future queen, and the other one is destined to go to the wolves. So the second daughter is offered to the wolf in exchange to have their kings return. So that is the legend that goes on in this town. So the second sister has already been prepared to go see the wolf. She's kind of expecting it. So in her 19th birthday, she is taken to the woods so she can go and be in front of the wolf. And then she finds out that the wolf is actually a man. He's not an actual like wolf. And she also discovers that she might have some secrets, powers, magical powers. Really loving this book so far. I discovered that I really like this small village with a mystery, secret creature kind of trope. So I highly recommend that if you like that type of setting. Another book that I am in the process of reading is Under the Whispering Door. This is by TJ Klune. I'm actually about 60% done with this book. I do not have an audiobook for this, so I have been prioritizing the books that I do have audiobook for, because I really like to see it and read and listen to the story as I read along. And also it's a lot easier to just put the audiobook as I'm doing other things around the house. I have been really enjoying this book, and I definitely want to continue reading it and finish it. This book, we're following Wallace, and Wallace passes away, and on the day of his funeral he is met by the Jack Ripper, and he takes him, or she takes him, to this tea house. And on this tea house, you're supposed to await for wait to be ready to pass on to the next life. So if he's in there trying to figure out, number one, why he's dead, he cannot cope that he's actually dead. He wants to do everything he can to go back to life, but that is not possible. So when he's there, he's understanding his life, kind of like looking at his past life and see how he could have done things differently. He also makes builds this friendship with Hugo, who is the guy that lives at the tea house. And I'm really enjoying the book. I also really love the part where Hugo is supposed to find like the perfect tea for the perfect person, and the tea is supposed to kind of represent your personality. And anyway, it's really sweet. I'm really loving the book, and I hope that I can finish it real soon as well. So those are the 2 that I am in the middle of reading right now. And then let me talk about the ones that I actually finished. So the first one here is Coraline. Actually very spooky for a middle grade book, but for me it was such a sweet experience because I read this together with my daughter. She loved the movie, and I got the book for her, and we're reading this basically a little bit every night. For being a middle grade, this book is kind of creepy. It has some images that we were just like, oh my goodness, like the mother, like the other mother. And there's actually one that is really, really worse that we actually couldn't even, we had to cover it to finish reading. Oh, it's this one. Are you ready? Oh my gosh, right? So Coraline is this girl who lives with her parents. She's an only child, and they move into this house. I think they move for work, but when she goes into this house, this is actually a duplex, and the other half of the house is not, like, nobody lives there, and there's this little secret door, I guess, in between the houses, but it's covered by brick. But somehow one day the brick is gone, and she's able to go into this little tunnel that leads you to this secret passage to this other world, which has her mother and her father, but they're like the other mother and the other father, and they have button eyes. And that world seems to be perfect. On her real world, the mom and the dad are always busy working. So in this other secret world, the mom is super nice, the dad is really like funny, and then so she loves to spend time with them until she finds out that they actually want to trap her into that world. Now she's just trying to escape. Anyway, so if you watch the movie, I highly recommend the book. It's just a whole other experience, and really had fun reading this book. So the next one that I finished is a Jane Eyre, and this is another one of my checks for my classics that I wanted to read for this year. And like I said before, I absolutely love the cover. This book is just so pretty. So this is by Charlotte Bronte, and so on this book we're following Jane Eyre. You probably already know about the story. So she kind of loses her parents, and she goes to live with her aunt, but the uncle has passed away, and she sees the uncle kind of like appear, but then so the aunt thinks that she's just too much for her to handle. She sends her off to this boarding school, and then after that she comes out, and then she starts to build a life of her own, and she's working with this other family, watching the daughter, but she's more like a teacher, like live at home teacher, and then she just finds the love of her life. It's such a beautiful book. I love the way the book was written, like the old English, the way she described things is just so touching. It has a little bit of mystery, has a little bit of romance. It was just everything I wanted. So I definitely highly recommend this book as well. The next book that I finished this month is Velvet Was the Night. This is by Silvia Moreno Garcia. So on this book we are following this lady who disappears, and she sends her neighbor, actually she asked her neighbor to watch her cat, and they weren't friends or anything, but she decided to just do it for the money, watch her cat. And then she finds out, like, the neighbor finds out that she's not coming home, so she starts to look for her, basically to see where she's going to, like, who's gonna watch this cat now. And then she discovers that she's actually missing. This is happening on Mexico City on the 70s, and so there's a lot of gangs and there's a lot of drug related. So she happened to be like an activist. The lady that disappeared happened to be like an activist at her school, and so she had some relations with gangs. The police is looking for her. Then I think she had in her possession some photographs, and then also the gangs are looking for her, and then this is secret like organization also looking for her. So there's a lot of things here. It touches a lot of like real movements that were happening on Mexico City on the 70s. So it's really interested on that sense. And so yeah, so it was really good. I really enjoyed the reading. It wasn't for me like the best like Silvia Moreno Garcia that I've read. I definitely love Mexican Gothic a little bit more. It had more of those like spooky thriller elements that I like to read. And then the ending for me was a little bit confusing on this book. Like I was like, what happened there? So I like that it was so different from her other work, and I did enjoy it, so I highly recommend it as well if you like more of like a gang type of mystery. Then I read The Witch's Heart, and this is by Genevieve Gorniche. And so on this book we're following this mother, and so she is a witch, but she has these powers that she can tell the future. So the gods are trying to take, use her powers, but she decided not to help them. And then they put a curse on her and her children. And so they basically took her heart. And then this guy comes, and he's a Lorky, and he rescues her, and she falls in love with him. He gives her her heart back, but then she falls in love with him. And let me just tell you, he wasn't like the best person, because I kept thinking, you can see how much she loves him, and she's trying to give him every opportunity, but he was just not the best with her and with her children and their children, and she just did everything for her children, but for some reason she wouldn't like open her eyes to see how he wasn't the best to have around. And so it was just very sweet the way how she sacrifices everything for her kids. Eventually she gets taken and she loses her kids, and then she's just doing everything she can to have him back and bring him back to safety. So it was a really sweet story in the motherhood type of theme, but also like I would have wished she made different better choices like he's not the best for your kids, just don't have him around. And so yeah, so it's a little bit frustrating on that sense, but I really enjoy the book. Again, I loved it. I love like those warm feelings and that motherhood like power that you have inside of you is definitely reflected on the way she loved her kids. And yeah, so it was kind of very sweet. So the next book that I read is Northern Spy, and this is by Flynn Berry. So this is another VC's book club. I always look for her book club recommendations. I loved everything that Brizzy's recommends. So on this book we're following Tessa, and she is looking for her sister that disappeared. So her sister is called Marian. Tessa also has like her son, and she just does everything for him. Obviously she loves him so much, so she's trying to protect him. So by trying to figure out what her sister is up to, she's also trying to protect her son. So you get into this tangle of like this behind world of like the spies, and then how she's kind of put in this situation where she has to choose between her sister, her son, and just escape the world that she was put in basically by her sister. So the ending was very sweet. I really liked it. I really enjoyed the whole process of reading this book. Was really good. Like, I love the dynamic on this book. It was so easy to read. It was really easy to just like connect to the book, to the characters, to the way she felt about her son, about her sister, about the town that she lives in, and trying to, you know, make all of these things that are happening like stop, and just really connected to the book, and I really enjoyed it. Next book that I read is House of Hollow, and this is by Crystal Sutherland. And so this book, oh my goodness, it was so good, really unexpectedly creepy for me, and I didn't think this was a horror book. It is not quite a horror, it probably is a horror book. This book was so dark, but at the same time so magical. Like, do you imagine the characters on this book, and they're just so beautiful and so like fairy-ish, but at the same time there is this dark secret. So on this book we're following these three sisters, and they all disappear when they were little, and then somehow they come back to their house after a month that they were gone, but they don't remember anything that has happened to them. But surprisingly, these sisters are just so beautiful. They are like unhuman beautiful, the way they describe them, how beautiful they are. So it's really magical to read that, and how they're described. So they're that beautiful that everybody is like obsessed with them, and not in a good way. Like, they're stalkers. There is like just an insane amount of attention that they're trying to avoid. But then one of the sisters, when they grow up, when they're teenagers, she disappears, and the other two are trying to find her. So to find her, they kind of have to force themselves to remember what happened to them when they were little, and trying to like kind of explore that dark secret that they were hiding. And even the main character on the book did not, like, she didn't even know who she really was. But it was so like creepy once you actually find out what they're hiding, and it was just such an amazing book. To me, it was like 5 stars all around. So another book that I was able to finish is The Year of the Witching, and this is by Alexis Henderson. Love the cover, love the witch. So on this book we are following Emmanuel, and Emmanuel lives in this small town that is run by the prophet. So the prophet, basically, he rules everything. Whatever he says is law, and everybody just does whatever he says. And let's just say he's obviously not the best at ruling people, and he has like multiple wives. Emmanuel was born out of like a forbidden relationship. So the mom was not, I mean, on this town, you're not supposed to marry somebody from a different race, somebody from outside the town. And so the mom was cursed. Her mother passes away when she's giving birth to her, and so she's raised by her grandfather. And so when she turns 16, she receives the diary of her mom, and then when she's exploring that, she discovered that she might have some supernatural powers. She might have been a witch, her mom had been a witch, so there's some background in there. I really love the book. I love the atmospheric setting on the book. It's all about like witches. There is secrets on the town. The prophet was just disgusting. I hated that guy. And also, you know, just like the whole secret on the village, and then how she tries to make it better for everybody, tries to just kind of confront the prophet. So I really enjoyed the book. I love the setting on the woods. I love the whole like passages of the diary that she reads. The book also have some quotes like at the beginning of every chapter, that it was actually something that I would always look forward to get to the next chapter and see what the next quote will be, because it's kind of giving you clues about what the chapter will be. So it was really cool. I love the way the book was set up, and again, highly recommend this book. Next book that I have here is Lisa Jewell, The Night She Disappeared. This book was, to me, top notch. Like, I really enjoyed the book. If you like Then She Was Gone by Lisa Jewell, you will absolutely love this book. It has the same type of like you will feel it the same way in terms of like that agony of what happened and discovering the secrets, and kind of just feeling for the characters, feeling for the mother looking for her daughter. On this book, we're following Kim and her daughter Tallulah. So Tallulah disappears after going out with her boyfriend one day, and she's also a mother herself. She has a 1-year-old son by the time she disappears. So her mom, Kim, just cannot believe that she will just abandon her son, and she's trying to figure out what happened the night that her daughter disappears. And so she's asking her friends, she's trying to find connections, trying to figure out where she was. Also following the perspective a couple years ago with the background information on the relationship that she had with her boyfriend, that Tallulah had with her boyfriend. And then you're also following the perspective a year from now, from the day that she disappeared, when this other like lady moves into town. She's like a journalist, no, not a journalist, she's a writer, and she kind of discovers something secret on her backyard, and then that kind of opens up the investigation again, and it's just so good. Like, it is so unexpected. You start discovering secrets that the daughter herself had before she disappeared, and then it's just really good. I really enjoyed the book. I binged this book and I read it on one day because it was just that good. Another book that I finished, this is another Reese's Book Club pick, and this is We Were Never Here by Andrea Butts. And so on this book, we are following two best friends, and they go into this trip to Chile. They are backpackers, so they like the adventure, and they have went a year before to, I believe it was Cambodia. Make sure I'm not spoiling the book for you. So the two friends' names are Emily and Kristen. So when they're in their trip to Chile, Emily walks into Kristen's room, and then she finds this dead body on the floor, and then Kristen says she was attacked and she had to defend herself, and she basically killed the guy. So then Emily says they need to notify the police, but Kristen says no, they're gonna blame us. We don't want to be in jail in this other, like foreign country. So then Emily gets convinced to kind of help her clean up this scene and try to get away with the murder. But then at the same time, you are hearing the other perspective of something that happened on their previous trip where another guy was also killed. So then she starts to think that if this is a pattern that her friend is following, is her friend a psychopath? And she starts to kind of doubt herself and her friendship, and just this tangle of friendship and betrayal and murder and mystery, and it's just really good. It's so engaging. I did not see the end coming. All this time I was thinking it was going to be one thing, but it ended up being another thing, and it's just such a good book. Like, this is just the type of book that I love to cozy up and read. It's like a good murder mystery, friendship betrayal type of book. And again, another one that I do recommend. It was super fun to read. Then I read They Both Die at the End. This is by Adam Silvera. So this is a book that has been so hyped, and so I wanted to give it a try. I had the book and the audiobook became available, so I was doing both at the same time. It is a really sad, it has some really sad moments, of course. So in this book, we're following these two guys that they're basically told by a strange phone call that they're gonna die that day. So it was kind of a little bit hard to relate to, because so on the time that they're living, there is this organization that will let you know that today is your last day, that you are dying today, and it's called the Death Cast. And so they both receive this phone call, but they both don't have like a lot of friends, so they go to this app and they find each other. So they go to this app, find each other, and decide to spend the last day of their life together. And so they build this friendship, and then at the same time they're both talking about their backgrounds, where they come from, on on their lives. And so it is really sweet, but it's really sad. And then I had two books that did blow my mind. Like, these two books were so incredibly amazing. So here we have The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern and The Starless Sea, also by Erin Morgenstern. Now, I did do a vlog about reading this book, and you could see how amazed I was by this book. I will definitely read this again and again and again because I love it. I love it so much. It was so magical. Same theme as this Magical Circus one. I think they were both incredible. If I had to choose, I'll probably choose this one just because I related with the stories inside just a little bit more. But I think these two books are a little bit hard to explain because they're just so complex and so different. So on The Night Circus, you are following this boy who is so intrigued by this circus. The circus just magically appears one night and it disappears in the next, and the circus only functions at night. And so he feels like he needs to go and investigate what is this circus all about. And he kind of gets like into a dare that he needs to go and bring something from the circus, but I think that's all I'm gonna say. But he is destined to be part of this circus, and it's just, again, the journey, like, it is just so beautiful just the whole way through reading the book, which was the same case as The Starless Sea. On this book, we're following this boy who is the son of a storyteller, and he is trying to find the Starless Sea. He finds this book that basically is describing his life, and something in the book tells him that he needs to find the Starless Sea. So he begins his journey to find the Starless Sea, but on the way he reads all these other stories, and you're just following the magic behind it. It's just so beautiful. The ending was so beautiful as well. I don't want to spoil anything on this book, but it was just amazing. Like, this is like beyond 5 stars for me. I absolutely love this book, and so yeah, highly recommend that one. Another book that I was able to finish is We Have Always Lived in the Castle. This is by Shirley Jackson, and the cover is just so beautiful. I am so upset that I kind of ruined the cover. On this book, we're following Mary Catherine, and she is just so, I love her. I think she's like my favorite character on a book so far. She is 18 years old, and she's basically protecting her family. Her mom and her dad passed away, and she is left with her sister, but her sister never leaves this house, and everybody on this town hates them so much. So you get to discover on the book the mystery of this family. Why are they so disliked? But I love the character. I love Mary Catherine. She was so bullied at the beginning by all the people in town, and it just you almost feel so sorry for her as a mother because I mean there are adults that are, you know, attacking her, and when is your family gonna leave town? I mean, she's only running some errands because nobody else in her house, her sister doesn't leave the house, and her uncle that also lives with them, he's very sick. I also recently discovered that there was a movie made after this book. I think it was like from a year ago or a couple of years ago, so I definitely want to watch the movie now because I really enjoyed the book and I want to see how they translate it into the movie. And then I also read, and I read this one on audiobook. This is the Haunting of Hill House, also by Shirley Jackson. And so on this book, of course, there is the haunted house element that I wanted for October. And we're following this doctor and this group of people that go into this house to basically see if the house is actually haunted. And then you get to experience what happens in this house, and it was really spooky. Sometimes I couldn't even read it because I usually read before bed, and so for this one I kind of had to like stop and switch to a different book because it was giving me so many creepy vibes. And I cannot, like, I love haunted houses, but I cannot sometimes deal with like whispering voices and things like that because then I get really scared. And of course, there is also a Netflix series based on this book. And I actually started watching the Netflix series after reading the book. I was kind of trying to be a little bit brave and watch the Netflix series. So I've only made it to episode 2. I'm not a big TV person also, but it was really scary and also very different from the book. So far I haven't really find the connections. The characters are just so different, but the haunted house, it just makes it so real, so it makes it all tied together from, you know, like reading the book and seeing the actual haunted house. So I'm hoping I will get through the Netflix show as well. And so yeah, so that was that book. And the last one that I did finish, and I actually just finished that one last night because this one is called Jar of Hearts, and this is by Jennifer Hillier. I started the book. I only had the audiobook for this one, and I wanted to listen to it because it was going to expire. And then I started listening to the book, and I got 50% done, and then my book expired, and I didn't finish it. But luckily for me, it came back just a couple days after, so I was able to just finish the book in time to talk about it. So hey guys, this is me editing the video, and I realized I forgot to say that this book does have some trigger warnings, including sexual assaults and children's murderings as well. So that is something that you are sensitive to. Yeah, make sure you check the trigger warnings for this book. On this book, we're following two friends, Angela and Gio, and Angela ends up dead, and Gio knows something about it, but she's not telling. But we do know she had a boyfriend at a time called Calvin, and he was 21. These two girls were 16. Gio knew he had something to do with it, but she just wasn't saying anything. But then 14 years later, they find her body. They find the body of Angela, and Gio basically gets arrested, and she goes to prison for 5 years for kind of covering up or knowing something and not collaborating with the police. So after 5 years, when she gets released from prison, you see these other new murderings happening in town. It just gets really interesting. Throughout the book, you start learning about Gio's past with her family, what happened to her parents, and who is responsible for all these new murders. So it was so good. I just love when books just completely shock you like that. So highly, another one. I know I say I highly recommend probably each one of these books, but I absolutely love each one of them. Enjoy all my mystery thrillers. They were so good. The magical books, the Starless Sea was just so amazing, and I really had a really good time reading this month. I didn't DNF any books. There was no need for it. They were all equally beautiful and enjoyable. And so yeah, so those are the books that I was able to read on this month. I hope that you guys had a good reading month as well. I hope that you have found some books from my list that you might want to explore and give it a read. And I hope you guys are having a beautiful day, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye bye.